Hey, it's Bryce Taylor, and welcome to another episode of our series, CTE Explained. In this series, we dive deep into different CTE programs, talk with students, and get a real feel for what it's like. In this episode, it's about culinary, but more specifically, baking. In a couple minutes, I'll be bringing in Jordan, and she's gonna teach us how to make snickerdoodles. Look at this. So, let's cut the chit-chat and get cooking. All right, so I'm here with Jordan. Now, Jordan, tell me, what are we making today?
We are making snickerdoodle cookies.
All right, so what's in the snickerdoodle?
Butter, sugar, flour, vanilla, baking soda, a tad bit of salt, and then you would roll it into the cinnamon sugar mixture, which is right here.
All right, let's get going. So what's the first thing we're adding?
So we're gonna add some flour.
All right.
We're gonna start off with a cup. Make sure this is level.
Why do we level?
Because you would want correct measurements when you're baking, because one thing could throw it off.
I think that's pretty cool how it has to be so precise, and if it's not precise, if we're just off by a little bit, it just completely goes up in the air. I think baking is pretty cool.
Baking is like more of like a science. And now we're adding another cup of flour.
So it seems like it's actually a lot of math when it comes to baking.
Yes, and that's why before we actually could get into the kitchen, we have to do math work to make sure that we're able to do the correct measurements while baking.
Makes sense. Why do you like baking and culinary?
I've been baking and cooking since I was a young child, so this just brings me joy.
All right, so once we add our flour, what are we doing next?
We will be mixing.
So what do you learn every day here in the culinary program?
In the culinary program, we learn patience, because sometimes it doesn't always turn out right the first time.
I get that. What's the next ingredient?
The next ingredients we'll be adding is 1.5 tablespoon of cream of tartar. This is what makes the snickerdoodle soft. This is the key ingredient.
All right, let's get that tartar in.
Start with the half a teaspoon.
So does it have any specific flavor? Does it flavor the cookie at all, or is it just?
No, it's not a flavor. It helps with the texture of the cookie. A half a teaspoon of baking soda.
Okay, now what does the baking soda do?
The baking soda helps it rise. Okay.
You know what happens if you add too much?
It's gonna overflow.
It's gonna overflow.
Yes.
I mean, to me, cookies overflowing, I'm pretty happy. I feel like I get more. And we're adding salt now?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
The salt helps balance out the sweetness. And now we'll be adding 2 teaspoons of vanilla.
And the vanilla just gives it that finishing nice snickerdoodle flavor, right?
Yeah. This stuff is very, very powerful. Our last ingredient that we will be adding is the last egg. Would you like to do the honors?
Oh, of course, of
No
course.
shells.
No shot.
Crack close to the bowl.
All right.
The batter is done. And the next step would be rolling it inside of the cinnamon sugar mixture.
Now, why we sprinkle this on the bottom?
Because when you're baking, like, you want to have the flavor at the bottom of the cookie too, not just on the surface.
That makes perfect sense.
This is where it's gonna get messy at right here.
We scoop it into our hands, and then now what are you doing?
I don't wanna put the batter inside the bowl, so I'm gonna like mix it right here. And I always add like little by little, because you can always add more, but you can never take away. And that's what I learned.
Now, how does this culinary class tie into your everyday life?
It ties into my everyday life because I have another job, like an actual catering job.
You got that experience down pat?
I'm still learning.
So you would say you feel like you're prepared for jobs?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you don't want to add too much batter because the cookies expand.
How much do they expand by?
I would say about 2 inches.
Okay.
So you want to give the cookie some space.
Okay. What's the oven set to?
350 degrees.
And how long do we bake them for?
10 minutes.
Now, what happens if you were to go a little bit under or a little bit over the set temperature?
If you have it under the set temperature, it wouldn't be cooked in it. And if you go over, the snickerdoodles will get hard, and snickerdoodle is supposed to be a soft textured cookie.
Okay.
So that will throw off the balance of the cookie.
So we have 10 minutes?
Yes.
All right. All right, so it's been 10 minutes. Now we're gonna pull these snickerdoodles. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what are we doing now?
So right now, we will be taking the cookies off of the tray because if they sit in the tray, they will continue to cook because of the heat.
And after we scoop them all up, what's next?
We taste them.
We sprinkle a little bit
Yeah.
more cinnamon sugar on that too? These look delicious, absolutely beautiful. And they look soft too. I got my pinch roll, you grab your pinch roll. On 3?
Yep.
1, 2,
2, 3. Voila.
And now we taste. All right, so you choose first.
I would only.
We'll grab this guy right here. All right, we're gonna go for it?
Yep.
All right,
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
These are good.
They're so soft.
Yeah, that's what the cream of tartar does.
You get that butter too. It hits you right at the bottom. I didn't really know how to make snickerdoodles before. I never really tried it. But now I'm gonna go home and take my crack at it for real. And now everyone at home know how to make snickerdoodles too. So Jordan, thank you so much for walking us through this process. High five. Thank you. Alrighty. Those cookies are too good to stop eating. I'd like to give a huge shout out to Jordan for showing us how to make snickerdoodles and walking us through it. And for anyone that's getting excited about culinary, I hope that you have your eyes set on these CTE programs. I'd like to thank you for joining us on another episode of CTE Explained. This has been Bryce Taylor with the City Schools Student Media Team. See you next time.